There is a world just beyond our sight, a place so far beyond comprehension, just past human perception. A world where the impossible seems so real. A digital paradise on the brink of calamity. Join us now as we follow the story of 5 young children, 5 friends, 5 Digidestined, who will, if they can, save both worlds, with a little help from their best friends. Good morning, afternoon, and/or evening, depending upon time zone, ladies, gents, and all those in between and beyond that binary of the internet. Welcome back to Neon Lights Roleplay, and more specifically, welcome back to With the Will, our Animon story, Digimon flavored odyssey. I'm your host, Federation of Stream, Young Foxy, and I have with me 5 industrious storytellers, 5 incredible souls, 5 wonderful friends of mine, who I could tell you all about. But instead of doing that, I'll have you listen to who they are from themselves. So please, friends, in the order I call you out, please tell me who you are, who you're playing this evening, where you can be found on the internet, and answer the following question. Who does your character rely on, and who relies on your character? We are going to start over on the far left of your screen back home with someone who I don't get to see too often and wish I could talk to more, but who I always enjoy seeing at a table for the kind of spirited and sort of wholesome, just natural friendliness they bring to a stream. There isn't a game I see them in where they aren't always the center of, like, heart of a team. They are your go-to for if you need a big person with a lot of heart in any campaign. And frankly, I'm glad to have them here as one of ours. Hi, Corndog. How are you?
Hello, it's me, Corndog McGraw. Tonight I am playing Isabella Fox, one of the siblings, and I think someone she relies on is Artie, but now she's coming to rely more and more on Lavamon to be a shining beacon example of leadership, because Lavamon, while nervous, tends to have their shit together. So there's definitely a little bit of that with Lavamon. As for who relies on her, everyone relies on me. I'm a narcissist. Everyone needs me.
I'm the most important person.
I'm the most important.
I'm the protagonist, actually.
This is actually my story.
This is my story, actually.
No.
With the Will and Isabella.
I don't know who relies on Isabella outside of possibly Artie. So
maybe we'll find out who soon.
Wait.
Outside of that, we're going to go ahead and just swing counterclockwise around the overlay as needed to someone who I consider one of my most close and personal friends, who without I would not be on this earth. Hello, my darling Spree.
Dang, making the expectations high, aren't you?
You know.
Today, I will be joining you as Fire. As for who they rely on, they don't really have any particular person to rely on, but their cat relies on them, and that's kind of enough for them.
Hey, they say before you think about child rearing, you should raise a pet, as it's your first exercise of responsibility, perhaps in reliability, even. Not to spoiler tease anything too much. Swinging ourselves, continuing counterclockwise to the bottom of the overlay, but as I always say, anywhere far from the bottom of anybody's cast list, it is the incomparable, the incredible J N A. How you doing, friend?
Hey everyone, I'm Jay Nakos, and I am playing Scarlet Goliath. And who Scarlet relies on? That's a bit of a tricky question, because as much as you'd hate to admit it, I guess in a certain way, just because of, like, you know, her life, in order to, like, enjoy the life that she's always enjoyed, I guess she does kind of, like, kind of in a way depend on her dad, and then also her boyfriend David, in order to, you know, to be able to get away from her dad. And in terms of, like, who relies on her, I guess, like, Scarlet would kind of, like, see it as, like, while she's, like, also kind of, like, depending on them, she would see that they, in certain ways, also like depend on her being like accountable for like particular like aspects of like just well, like including the like the business, like she's expected to do certain things. So yeah, she
Wow.
sees it kind of as a back and forth, I guess, between
Wow.
them.
Thank you for that peek into Scarlet's brain. I'm sure I won't use that information against you ever, not once. Ominous note aside, we swing ourselves over on the more counterclockwise to someone who is joining us back from the grave. Someone whose incredible face, I think, brings joy, warmth, and light to not just this table, not just this space, but to the world in which they inhabit. Someone who I've only met very recently, but who has changed my life for the better in so very many ways. I am, of course, talking about the incomparable tabletop RPG force that is Classical Liza. Hello.
Hi, I'm Liza. I go by they, them. Person of many hats, blah, 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 and all of that. Tonight, I will be playing Kian. And who does Kian rely on? No one. Because they do not allow themselves to rely on anyone. Because that is weakness. Who relies on Kian? Everyone in their family relies on Kian. Because Kian is the oldest. And therefore knows everything. So therefore, Kian is the one that everybody goes to, and that's not from anything like lived experience or anything like that. But that's what I'm playing tonight. So there.
What? Someone putting lived experience into their character for the sake of trauma healing through a TTRPG campaign? That's never happened on Neon Lights Roleplay.
That's never happened on this show.
That's never occurred.
Specifically.
Never once. It's never happened here, right here on this campaign, like 3 episodes ago. Anyway, outside of that, and speaking of that, we come, of course, to the last member of our cast introduced, but I already used that one joke, so I'll just say this singly. If you don't know how incredible the brain of this human being is, you simply aren't consuming enough good media, and that's a you problem. You should fix that as soon as possible by getting to know the incomparable, the incredible, the amazing, legendary Vermin.
What's up, everybody? I'm Legendary Vermin. My head is empty, but my heart is full. And tonight I am using that to channel my character, Artemis. And Artemis fucks, in fact. Sibling to Isabella. Fucks.
Never gets old.
It does. It's a good joke.
It's just good.
So, if you were to ask Artie who he relies on, he would laugh and be like, "Look at me." But I think realistically, there is definitely some inter-sibling dependence between the Fucks kids, and I would also say that Artie definitely relies on their mom a lot. There's a lot of things going on with Artie, as was alluded to in my introduction, but their mom creates a very safe and comfortable place for them to be when they're at home, whenever she can. So I think there's that. Who relies on Artie? Well, there's one class that Artie definitely always makes sure to do his homework for, because the person who relies on him is the girl who failed that class last year. It is, of course, the goth girl that Artie kind of has a crush on back in high school. And it is the homework for their special ed class.
To be a young spry youth to have a goth girl pining for my math homework. Good times.
No, not my math homework. My special ed homework.
That too. It's me and the bad bitch I pulled by being autistic. No. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh wow, that was on stream too. Everyone saw that. Somebody clipped that.
Oh, we're off to an incredible start today. All right, friends, let's do a recap, shall we? Last episode, our party finally left the temple and found themselves exploring, investigating, nay, trying to figure out a rampant spike in increasing negative data energy all around them. Digivices alight and searching the area, they scanned around and couldn't find much until, well, suddenly, they got their answer. The sky split open in great tears of purple lightning. Black towers, the same ones they had been toppling, in their dozens, if not in their hundreds, sprouted up all about the landscape as far as the horizon went. As far as they know, probably very far beyond that. And from this calamity, from the heavens, descended the Herald of the Apocalypse, Belial Vandemon, or Malomaiorthmon if you listen to the dubs. The point is, our party confronted this malevolent demon, this stark beast, who spoke of an oncoming end to both the material and digital realms. Cryptic answers aside, the party attempted to fight, and just as they found themselves nearly bested at the end of their ropes, the love and the courage of the Flux siblings alighted, and we were graced with 2 new ultimate level Digimon, Angelomon and Lady Devamon, respectively. I just noticed y'all are on like opposite sides of the overlay for me, so I can just do that. I gotta tell people that's cool as shit. I fucked with that. Good job, whoever made the
Oh my
overlay.
gosh, I get to be the angel on your shoulder, and Vermin gets to be the devil on your shoulder. What a
Oh,
fun night.
Lucky me. That's incredible. I love this. How great.
Remember,
We're definitely both the devils on your shoulder,
Yeah,
sorry
that's
to
true.
say.
Yeah, I was like, we're both definitely like the Kronk version of these.
No. He has
That's
a
a good deep cut.
and the rabbit
Yeah,
is hiding
he's
on the
got a point.
ground.
Oh gosh. Well, outside of that, after defeating Belial Vandemon with the help of their new friends, the party looked into the sky and beheld a strange phenomenon. The tears through the clouds appeared to peer through to a massive city back in the material world. Resolved and certain on what to do, they mounted those of the Digimon that could fly, and with some help from their friends, took off to the sky, set to possibly head back home. If only they would know just how accurate that statement would be. Approaching the tear in the sky, they found themselves engulfed in white light, so blinding, so piercing that they couldn't see anything, not even the friends beside them. And it is right then and right there that we shall briefly resume our tale. Before I do, though, friends, I need each of you to individually pick a number between 1 and 6.
Oh. Hold on.
4.
Do they
Wait,
have to be
can we
different from each
repeat?
other?
Nope, no repeats.
Okay.
Already told
Damn
one.
it.
6.
All right, 1, 4, 6, 2,
Alright.
3. Of course I get the 1. I got a. How did you get a 5? Whatever, it's fine. I'll just pick. You know what? We'll do the easy one. So, Foxfire, we'll start with you tonight, love.
Damn it.
Sorry. Before everything in your world changed, before you learned just how big this universe is, where were you?
Out at the cafe.
And what time of day was it?
Well, it was like afternoon.
Hmm. I assume you sit alone at this cafe usually when you're there by yourself, yes?
Yeah.
Foxfire, as the blinding light slowly begins to creep away, you're able to resettle into seeing the world around you. You no longer feel the soft fur of Renamon beneath you as you were sitting. Instead, you find yourself in a chair, in a room, in a city. You can hear the light or the sound and noise around you. It's not too loud. It's obviously later in the day. If the noise didn't tell you that, the low light and the quiet did. You're pretty sure you're in the cafe. At least that would make the most sense. The seat you're in feels familiar. A little hard to tell given that nobody else is here and the lights are off.
I guess I'll head to look out some of the windows and see, like, is there still, because there was a blackout that happened before getting sucked in.
Nope. You'll notice two things, obviously. One, you'll confirm that you are absolutely, like you thought by looking at the cafe, back in your, well, wherever you currently live. I won't say your hometown, because I don't know if you live where you were born, but you're back in your current town of residence or place you live in. And two, the blackout seems to have passed. No one's overtly freaking out or scrambling for anything, so you wager it probably didn't last long, which is strange because you're certain you were gone for days.
I'm gonna reach into my pocket for where I had my digivice.
It's there.
Take that out and see, does it say anything?
It gives you the standard readout. You notice that unlike where the way it works in the digital world, there's a little corner slot that does actually give a time readout. It's been about 6 hours. Maybe even less.
Well, that's certainly a weird time difference.
You hear a voice kind of like ambiently around you, just... Anyone around you? It's a familiar voice, though.
No, Renamon.
A sort of blurring purple and yellow haze will happen in front of you, and then Renamon will land. I hid as soon as we arrived. I do not understand everything about this world, but I wager, given my first looks, there are not many things that look like me around here.
They'll probably think you're someone from a furry convention.
What's a furry?
I'll tell you later.
Indeed. Where are the others?
I mean, if I ended up back here, then maybe they ended up back wherever they entered the digital world.
All right.
See if I can like text any of the others on my digital.
Who are you? Are you shooting like a? So what's the plan here? Are you shooting like a text to one person? You dropping a message in the Discord group chat? Like what's happening here?
I'm gonna drop a message in the Discord and then also see if I can like just
Already?
message each person through like the digivice to see if that works any better.
You'll notice that both go through with pretty much no problem. You're able to both send out your text and also communicate with the group via digivice with no problem. The message goes out. It seems like phone lines, internet, everything is all back online. And well, we'll talk about what response you get in a bit. But as you're waiting to get a response from the group chat, and Renamon is so like you hearing you say like, oh yeah, they're probably back where they came from. You'll hear Renamon just go, well, all right, then we should get moving to where they are. How long will it take?
Well, that depends on which person we're trying to get to.
You will have to elaborate.
We all live around like the world. We don't live near each other.
I just remembered I made Kian live in the Philippines for
Yep.
this in the beginning.
Oh, trust me, I remember that.
Oh yeah.
So, Renamon was kind of cock ahead again and just, I am decently fast. Especially as Yokomon, we can cover a lot of ground in a few days.
How are you with swimming?
How much swimming?
A lot.
How much water is there on this planet?
Most of the planet.
Why do you live here?
I didn't pick.
As you see, Renamon will literally snatch your phone like from your pocket and just like flip up and just start to tap. It's hard because you're fairly shorter than her, but as you're looking up over the angle, you can see that she's with her talons barely playing at your screen and Googling map of Earth. And just swiping at a globe and going, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, so that
as this
little
hap-
square is about the distance we traveled the entire time we were, you know.
This place is massive. I've not seen all the digital world, I'll admit, but... I see. Then we have a conundrum.
Yeah, we do.
And what's our plan?
I guess for now, go home and see if the others get in touch to figure out what to do.
Indeed. I would like to see your home. I'll express curiosity.
Right? And Fire will just push at the door to see if it
Yeah.
opens. Yeah.
The door, this isn't like any strange illusion or anything. Door opens, no problem.
I didn't know if it was gonna be locked.
Yeah, no. Well, the door is locked, but it seems like it locks from the outside. Because you're able to open it from the inside. It's a push bar. You push it, it gives a solid thunk, and you push it open.
So we robbed the cafe. Got it.
Mm-hmm. Renamon just looks and just says, "We'll follow behind you," and then again, kind of half jumps away, and halfway through the jump, just kind of phases out in blurred shinobi lines, and is gone.
You gotta show me how to do that sometime.
She says, "It's a learned trick." Again, just her voice somehow emanating around you. And you are free to carry on out into the way and head home.
Yeah.
As you are making your way there, let us now cut our way back over to somebody else. Did one of y'all pick 6?
I did.
Cool. Scarlet,
Yes.
before the world changed for you, before you noticed just how big this universe really is, where were you?
I was at my dad's work. He was having the convention thing, and it was like the night of on the night of my birthday, but I was having to go to his stupid work party.
Mhm.
And I was like crawling. I snuck out the back to climb the
Fire escape, yes.
fire escapes with David. So and do I've changed clothes since then. Am I?
Mhm. You are in your changed clothes, is the first thing you'll notice, obviously. The second thing you'll notice is you are effectively right back where you were, looking out over the fire escape at that view you get from a few floors up. What time was it when you
It was
left?
night. It was night, like maybe like 10. I think
In
this
that
was.
case,
No,
It was
it was like
late, yeah.
super late.
Yeah, it was like
Mhm.
1 or 2 a.m. because
Yep.
we like figured out what times it was for all of us in different
Oh,
places.
time zones. Right. Yeah. Super late. Right. Okay.
in that case, it's it's morning-ish. Like the sun is rising. You wager it's probably in the 6 to 7 neighborhood. If I could look at your time, it's probably about 6:30-ish. So yeah, you wager about 5-6 hours have passed, maybe a little bit less.
I guess so. Okay. So I like it's like I wake up though.
Yeah, you just kind of the white clears away from your eye as if like you've got I don't know, like you've never been flashbanged in your life, but imagine being flashbanged and then you kind of clear away the white in your eye. It's and then you're there.
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess in this situation, Scarlet like the initial reaction, I guess, would be like, "Wait, David? Wait, is David here? Or is he
Nope.
gone?"
There's nobody else here.
And then I notice I've been in my changed clothes, and I kind of look down at myself, and I get a confused look in my face. But then I go down to like where my Digivice would be. Actually, no, I think the first thing I do is I'd go up to where my tag is, my, and then I'd like grab that, and then I'd look around. I'd be like, "Paramon?"
You can hear a rough rumbling as you're looking around for David and Terriermon. You don't see anyone next to you at all. However, as you're looking around, about a floor or 2 down, there is a garbage can that appears to be shuffling a little bit back and forth.
I just look down at this trash can, and I'm just like, out of all the places, that would be where you would end up, isn't it?
He pops his head up and just, "Hey, I didn't pick my landing zone here. I popped up in midair. I can't fly."
What did he say? I'm sorry.
He just kind of was like, "Hey, I didn't pick this place. I popped up in midair over here. I can't fly that easily."
He could.
You can fly yourself. Oh, it doesn't matter. Okay, come on. Let's just get you out of there.
He just,
Come on.
"Not if I don't get He says as he pushes jumps out of the trash can and lands on the ground. He gets to brush himself off. Gosh, is the rest of this place so stinky?
Oh my goodness! No! I have to give you a bath when we get home.
Which again, you wager it's a little early in the morning. You can definitely already hear light bustling from the building you're situated on, indicating there's like some people here. But you wager it's definitely far too early for even like most of the morning crowd to have tapped in. So it's probably just like janitors, maybe a few executives who popped in early to do 20 minutes of work and then leave. Who knows?
Okay. So I glance around. It's like, wait. Did you see anyone else?
Like our friends?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I checked my phone and my device to see if I go to shoot. Do I?
You open your phone and the first thing you see is you have a couple of like the standard texts. You have a few missed texts from like one or two from our friend, a couple from David, and you also have right at the top, just as you go to open your phone, a Discord ping to the group chat, which is from Foxfire, which is just like, actually, Foxfire, what did it say?
So, was that a weird hallucination, or,
Where are you?
I'm back where I was.
Sigh emoji, and it's like, yeah, me too. Okay, so what do we want to do?
Terriermon, as you're typing before you get a response, pops up and just says, "So, what do you want to do?"
Terrible. I pet him and I'm like, we need to figure that out. I guess. Well, I'm home. We're home, and Spree's home. This means I imagine everyone's just home. So that means whatever we do is going to be complicated. So I guess we just need to go home, and then I can give you a bath.
Oh, am I gonna meet your dad and David?
Probably.
Oh, that's so cool.
What the hell is David? I vanished for 6 hours and he's just gone.
Well, you had texts from him. You could see what they said.
I go to find David's texts.
The first text just says, "This is gonna sound really weird, but you ever just kind of blank out and forget what happened? I remember going outside with you at the party, and then I blink and I'm back home. It's weird. Anyway, I hope you got home safe. Text me tomorrow."
She's like, okay, I'm gonna have, okay, he remembers blanking out weird, so I think like it's gonna be easier to explain to him what happened first rather than my dad. So we're gonna go see David. And then I bend down, I pick up Terriermon with an attitude of like, do not fight me. And then
I can walk. Come on.
And then I text David saying like, I'm coming over now. You need to meet somebody, and send. And then I got a new pet. Don't worry, but they're real cute. And send.
So you use the exact words of, "I'm coming over. You have to see someone. I got a new pet. They're real cute." You're not sure how David interprets this, but the response you get is, "Sure. My sister's home, but she's falling asleep." Wink emoji. David is a fuck. Listen, I'm just saying, if Shorty texts me, I'm on my way over, I got a pet you should meet, I'm like, oh, I should go shower then. Shit, man. That's just me. Anyway.
Unless there's a cute dog photo sent along with it.
Now, if the dog photo comes too, then I'm like, okay, clearly we're going for the wholesome route here.
After I get that text message, she's gonna be like, oh no, and then she'll like lean and she'll take a picture of her and Terriermon and then send that.
Again, you can tell he's probably still just kind of like memeing / being a bit of a shitter, as his reply is just, "Weird dog."
Yeah. Okay.
You do notice that it's luckily enough, like looking at the shot, Terriermon does this really weird, like, wink, like peace sign pose, which does make it look like he probably is just a stuffed animal in that pose.
Okay.
So, as you head off to go and check in with David, and we'll come back to that in just a bit. Let's next go into. Did someone pick 2?
I think that was me already.
Oh, wait, really? Oh, shit. Well, then did someone pick 3?
Not me.
Sweet.
Wait, is it me?
I know I picked 4.
Yeah, I know Glypha stole 4 from me because I was thinking.
That was 1.
I think I panicked and picked
I was
3.
too slow.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Hold on. This works perfectly, actually, because I can do the Fudge siblings together, and then I'm a genius. The dice, thank you, dice. Mwah. Anyway,
The
so,
dice are blessed.
dear Artemis, before the world changed, before you realized just how big this universe of ours really
Hey,
is.
can I cut you off right there? There's the preamble noises, and then you just hear shit, and then like a clattering noise, and when the camera cuts to, we see Artemis like sprawled out on the ground next to the computer, having like reached over too far in the rolling chair, and now just kind of like splayed on the hardwood. Ow! Ow!
And of course, as you're sprawling out on the ground, Artie, you're looking over towards the nearest window, and what time is it? Or was it when you, before things happened?
It was quite late. We said we were in Colorado, so it like maybe the sun is like just barely rising, depending on what time of year it is.
So yeah, I agree. The sun is just barely rising. You're getting that nice, like, again, it's probably a little bit earlier in the day than it is for Scarlet. Obviously, New York to Colorado, but you're getting those first slight oranges of like the sun just beginning to peak up. Which again, as you're looking at like your computer's still on, so you can easily see your system time and everything. A few hours have passed.
Is the message that I was writing to
Go to Healer for 2069.
go to Healer for 2069? Did that get deleted?
Nope, it is still right there. Which is a really fun way for us to cut upstairs as Isabella. You pop in back in what I believe was your bedroom. Yes, you were hanging out in your room.
Yeah.
And as you land, and like you kind of like feel like a bit of like a flump, as like you remember being like in Angelomon's like arms, hands, and it still feels very soft like that, like those did. But you're certainly, as you kind of feel a blanket and the pillows around you, recognizing, oh, I'm back home. Your laundry bin stirs a little, and out of it pops a small round seed like figure of Lalamon. Just hello.
Oh, Mom, get out of the laundry. That's dirty.
She shuffles out again. She has very stubby legs and arms, so it's a bit of a more of a roll
I'll
out.
go over and help her get out of it.
As she, fumbled her way out and just, where is? And right as she goes to say, "Where is everybody?" Isabella, your back pocket thumbs a bit. You have a couple of things going on your phone, obviously. Nothing crazy other than just you have like a couple friends who are like, asking like, what are you doing later, and like, what do you want to like hang out online, or like, like go like talk about like some whatever like TV shows you're watching. You have a few of the Discord group chat pings. Seems like Foxfire and Scarlet are having a back and forth, and have both recognized they're back home as well. And just at the very top, you have a ping from your account for the forum posts for the game you play online. Someone's replied to go to Healer for 2069.
They're probably going to say something that doesn't make sense. So I'm not even going to go open that forum because I don't know how to play computer games.
Well,
I will creep downstairs.
you will
to
find
see if Artemis is down there.
you will find your sibling. Sorry.
I am down there, and I am at the fridge, and I've pulled out what must be like one from a rack of Mountain Dew Code Reds, and I am finishing it off with zeal.
And as you're looking, you see Artemis finishing off the one. You look over a bit more at the bottom of the stairs, walking from like some side room. Comes in Jilliamon with one finishing off and one wrapped in tentacle. Just, oh, these are awesome, right?
Olamon, don't drink that.
Wasn't planning on it.
It's real gross.
Oh god.
Have you ever thrown up red? It's not fun.
She goes, I don't think I've ever thrown up.
You threw up red because you had an ulcer.
I got the ulcer from the Mountain Dew.
They never conclusively proved that. Well,
I'm gonna go start making Lolamon a snack, and by making, I mean I am pulling out the beautiful Toll House cookies, the fudge stripe ones. I'm opening that and putting it on the counter. I'm finding like vanilla wafers, opening that, putting it on the counter. When I say make snacks, I am just placing them in an accessible communal space.
I am just it's hunter-gatherer behavior. I'm gathering snacks.
I'm gathering the snacks. Look here, I've contributed.
Indeed. So, the two of you are here, assembled, gathering snacks, and noticing that, yes, you are absolutely back home, and it's now the early morning. You wager that, given that it's probably early enough that your parents have already gotten themselves up and headed off for work, as they usually leave pretty early, given that you both weren't here, they probably assumed you just slept in and didn't bother you.
so you were like upstairs when you came back, right?
Yeah, I was back up in my room.
Okay, so everybody else was probably like wherever the hell they were.
Oh my gosh, how are we gonna get Kian? They're in the Philippines.
Oh my god. What? Doraemon can fly. As long as they don't go through any like naval base airspace, they should be fine.
What? No, we can't have them do that.
What? Why not? Like, don't we all need to go to New York to like beat up Scarlett's dad and prove that her boyfriend doesn't exist?
Yes, we do need to do that. How do we get to New York? We could ask mom and dad if we could go, but also, how do we introduce? And I just lift up Lalamon.
You think that's gonna be difficult? And I imagine that Jellymon is getting up to some kind of hijinks right now.
Absolutely.
Like
Jellymon
rolling around on the couch or some shit.
Jellymon has like their suckers attached to like the ceiling, and it's just kind of like hanging down. It's like swinging back and forth, enjoying more Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
How are we supposed to explain her?
Hey guys, have any of you? I can go into the group chat. Has anyone else seen your friend yet? Your Pokemon?
Yes.
I just go ahead and I send the same group chat picture I sent to David to like in the group chat.
You all get a picture of Scarlet with Terriermon.
Yeah.
Looks
I'll
fake.
just reply, cool plushie.
And then you get a response. That's the idea. Winky face.
So, as you are recognizing that you are back home and starting to discuss your plans for the future, I kind of like using the group chat as like a communal space for you all to kind of interact and figure out what's going on. So I want to come back on that, sort of seeing you guys using the group chat while also engaging in your own like interpersonal interactions and things like that. So we're gonna settle in on some of those scenes in just a moment. But before then, I think we're gonna go ahead and have to check in on our last teammate, Kian, my dear.
What's up?
Before the world changed, before you realized just how big this universe is, where were you?
I was in my bedroom and I was playing a game. I think that's probably good. Been a
Sounds
while.
about right. No, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I
It
think
felt
we're
like
getting
it's been
ready for,
several.
like, D&D type stuff.
Yeah, you were prepping and working on some D&D things and hanging out with some friends. The internet was being spotty as usual, but you were trying your best to make it work. You pop back in, and you, as the white clears away from your eyes, you recognize you are back at your chair in front of your computer. The game is still running, and you got logged out for being AFK. So clearly, you weren't you weren't doing anything for a while. What time was it when you left?
I think it was. I think it was afternoon because it was evening back where everybody else was. So it was after my time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, it's about like you said about like morningish usually.
I think it's about like if it's like late, if it's really early in the morning, like wee hours in the US, it would be like afternoon in the Philippines.
Sure. So it's easy afternoon. You recognize the sun is high, the weather is warm. You can hear birds and animals chirping outside. You also see just next to you, kind of like sprawled out on your floor but shuffling back up, is the large dragonoid shape of Doraemon. Just, oh my head.
Huh. This is interesting.
Where are we?
We are in my house in the Philippines.
We're home for you?
Yeah.
That's so. And it's right as Goromon goes to comment, you see your doorknob turn. And you can hear a voice. It's a sibling. Tell me a bit more about the sibling. Kian, are they older, younger? What are they like?
They're younger.
Mhm.
They're the youngest.
How old are they?
Little boy. I would say not little boy, like 3 years younger than me. Basically, grew up as my best friend, that kind of thing. As I hear that turning, though, I'm gonna go look at Doraemon. I'm like, freeze! Don't move! And then,
Didn't Kian ask a sibling to lock the door?
yes.
You'll noticing it's so the door isn't opening. It just feels like the knob is being worked at, like your sibling is trying to open the door, even though they seemingly can't. As you look at Doraemon, though, Doraemon doesn't respond to you, but they are already kind of like frozen, like their eyes cut over to the door. The look on their face isn't inviting at all.
Okay. That's weird. And I'm gonna go bring Doraemon to my bed, cover him with a blanket, and then open the door.
You'll open the door, and your sibling is there. I imagine they're a little bit shorter than you.
Yeah.
And just, Kian, it's lunchtime. I'm hungry.
Don't we have food? Didn't Mom leave us anything?
I don't feel like heating it up.
Well, I'm not gonna cook anything.
But if you don't feed me, Mom's gonna be really mad.
I'm just gonna say you don't like her food, which she left for us. And then who's gonna get in trouble? Me or you? Who's she gonna believe? Me or you?
Your sibling starts kind of like glaring at you, like clearly really upset and like about to like maybe like sibling snap at you. It's then you start hearing what sounds like the lowest bit of growling from your bed.
All right, fine. I'll heat it up. You are gonna eat what Mom made, and I'm gonna heat it up so you don't have to do anything, you lazy butt. And I'll give it to you. Just give me like 5 minutes.
Fine.
Okay.
And they storm off back down the hallway to go do whatever it is little siblings do. It's then you're realizing, Kian, if only a few hours have passed, you already have a list of things you're usually asked to do throughout the day that you haven't taken care of yet. Name a few of them for me.
I have to definitely do some updating with everybody's computers because I promised that I would do that. So it's a multi-generational house.
Mhm.
Everybody, like lives with us so that we can afford rent and have like whatever. It saves money. So and I am the oldest grandkid, so therefore I'm the one that everybody comes to whenever they need their computers updated. So I have to do that. And then I have to do some laundry, and then I have to do make sure that my brother's assignment is done because mom has no time for that. And dad works overnight, so I may have to make sure that I wake him up on time to for him to get ready for work, make sure his dinner is packed. That's a lot of stuff.
A lot of things. And you are sitting and thinking like, oh, okay, all right, all these things to do. And then you hear your phone go off a few times. I'm assuming you look at it?
Yeah.
Up at the top, you'll notice it's Discord group chat mostly. A lot of your friends going back and forth. We're home. What's going on? Where are you? Have you seen your friends? Picture of Scarlet and Terriermon. Nice plushie. That's the point. Wink emoji. A lot of stuff like that. And then under that, you have 4 texts from your mom. And they're paragraphs each. And it starts off typical passive-aggressive parent tone. If you're going to sleep in, then at least make sure you take care of and lists out all the stuff you just listed. Take out the trash. Take care of your brother's homework. Make sure your siblings are taken care of. Take care of clean your room up. Don't be on the game all day. And then, after all that, it's another list of requests and just, I'm gonna be out at work, so you should go in town and pick up my medicine. Your grandmother needs you to take care of taking care of the garden. Could you please feed the cats? Could you change their litter box? Could you make sure that you check in on the neighbors and get and wash their laundry for them? They need to pick up their laundry. Could you? And then after a list of several things to do, it's also just, and frankly, Kian, I've been noticing the attitude you have when I ask you to take care of things around the house, and I understand that we all need you to take care of things. Your father works very hard, your grandmother is very sick, and I am very tired. I understand that we put a lot on you sometimes, but we need you to take care of these things so you can keep your siblings safe. Don't let us down, please.
I do not reply to my friends. I reply to my mom and I say, sorry, didn't realize that it was really late. I'm going to go ahead and take care of these things, and I'll make sure to add the list of other things that I need to take care of. I hope you're doing well at work, and I will make sure that everything is taken care of. I will see you later. Love you. And then I will text my friends, can't talk, busy, later. And then don't respond. And start taking care of everything, because I don't have the time to be curious right now. I don't have the time to freak out. The real world, the material world is everything is needed from me is just all crashing back, and I don't have the time to play games. So I'm gonna look at Doraemon, and I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna pull the blanket, and I'm like, there's a lot we need to talk about, but I'm gonna be busy for a couple of hours. Are you gonna be okay?
Kian, before I answer that question, I got a question for you.
Yes.
How are you feeling, recognizing all of the things that you have to take care of, all of the real world crashing back down on top of you? How's that feeling for you right now?
Honestly, it's like, you know how the feeling of like, the feeling when Kian first came to the digital world, it's like all of this anxiety, like, oh my gosh, there's so much things I want to do. And then having that freedom to not think about it. They are coming back into the world and they're feeling all these feelings that are like anxiety and all of that. But because they don't have the time, they're just gonna shut it down. They're gonna close and they're gonna focus on all the stuff that I need to do, because now is not the time to freak out. Now is not the time to be selfish, because people are depending on me, and I will work with the digital stuff later, because I really need to take care of my family.
Kian, as you're trying to push down those feelings, trying to push away that emotional response, I cannot find the right song for this, excuse me. As you're trying to push back that feeling in you, push back that response, that just push it all down and deal with it later, I have things to deal with, you're finding more than it's ever really been, it's hard. All that emotion, all that worry, all the faces, you can almost see your family in their faces, looking at you in your mind's eye and saying things to you. Take care of this for me, Kian. Could you run out and take care of this and take care of that for me, Kian? Did you take care of this, Kian? Is that thing done, Kian? Kian? All of that building in your mind starts to push at that wall you're trying to push out against it. And you're struggling with that internally for just a moment as you're asking Doramon, are you okay? And then you see that gem, that red gem on the middle of his forehead, quickly arc with a bit of black lightning that lances from his forehead to yours. And both of you recoil. It's not pain. It's not anger that you feel. It's just that overwhelming dread. That constant feeling of, I have so many things to do and I will not get them all done. That constant pressure to perform, that constant need to do right weighs and crashes in you in wave after wave, almost pushing the space between you and Doramon. And with each crashing wave, you can see him kind of reel into himself more and more, as if feeling that pressure with you.
I'm gonna try and hug him because I have no words.
As you grab him, you realize he actually kind of brings his very stubby arms out up to your shoulders and pushes you down, as if trying to put his bulk over you. And you can faintly hear him whispering, no, 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 no.
Hey bud, what are you doing?
No, no, I won't let them. No, 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 no.
This is great and all, and I love this feeling of heaviness on me. You're very cuddly. Won't let them what? Who are you? What are you talking about?
And it's right as you're saying this, you hear a knock at the door again and hear your brother's voice pipe in, Kian, who are you talking to? And as right as that finishes, Doramon yells, leave my friends alone! And then smashes with their tail out and hits the wall as hard as possible. The whole building shakes.
Doramon! It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I'm okay. It's okay. It's okay. I'm okay. It's fine.
Doramon is shaking slowly, just slowly reeling in this feeling, kind of tense. You can see that black lightning beginning to arc around his muscles and arms and his tail as he kind of stands, but you don't have enough movement to, like, you know, shimmy out under him if you needed to, but he's hovering over you, his snout low, and every time he breathes out hard enough, you can see smoke leave his nose. I can feel it. I can feel what they do to you. It hurts. It hurts you.
You really shouldn't be feeling that because that's a lot of pressure for you. It's you're Doraemon. You're chill. You're like my little buddy. You shouldn't be feeling this.
He doubles over more, and I am going to need you, Kian, to give me a spirit roll.
Okay. Spirit roll.
Mm-hmm.
Let's. I know what to do with that. Yeah, sure. I've played this game.
You're going to gather the number of die you have in your spirit number on your character sheet for your person. You're going to roll that many die. As a reminder, you have bond points. You can spend bond points to gain more points for the roll. Your first one gives you 2. Everyone after that gives you 1 more die. I should also let you know the difficulty for this roll, 6. Meaning, out of all the die you roll, however many you roll, you need to show 6 successes. 4 higher success, 6 counts as 2.
What? Okay, wait. I haven't played this in a while. Let me do that again. I have 3 dice.
So you have to roll a d6 dice pool. You have those 3 die right now. That's your spirit roll. You need to show 6 successes total, which by default means on those 3 die, you would need to roll all 3 6s to get a success. There's the only way you could pull it off.
You
Okay.
can use bond points.
You
Yeah,
can
it
spend
is
bond
nice.
points to gain more die.
I have 8 bomb points.
Okay, your first bond point spent gives you 2 more die to roll.
And you just
Okay.
got a +2.
Yeah, and you get a +2 from chat, which would give you that basically is going to account for to make this a boost for you. So
Okay.
for this, you're looking for 3s or higher. You're going to roll those 5 die. If you want to spend more points, you can for more die.
And I need to roll.
You need 3s or higher for successes. You need a grand total of 6 total. 6s count as 2.
Okay. I'm going to try. I'm going to roll 5 dice and hope that I get 3 or higher.
Here it is.
Awesome. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4. And you said 6 is what? Double?
6 count as 2.
So okay. 5, 6. So
That's
1,
6.
2, 3,
So
4,
6
5.
successes.
Meets it, beats it. Kian.
Wait, it's 5.
Hmm?
Let me just count it again.
Count it again. You're right.
Not a success, right?
3 success, yes, for this because of your +2 you got from chat.
Only 6s count 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, I only have 5.
Oof.
Ooh.
Kian, you are trying to reach out to Doramon to sort of press into and reach out and say like, hey, you shouldn't be worrying about this. To almost take that pressure back from him. You reach out to gather at that presence, that pain he's clearly wrapped in, and recognize it's not his pain, it's not his agony, it's yours. It's all that sorrow, all that frustration you push down and bury when thinking about all of the things you have to deal with, all of your responsibilities, all the people who need you. And there's something else there, something under that, something deeper than that. And as you go to reach for it, go to pull it away from Doramon, you can feel him, his presence, snatch it from you, rip as much of that pain away from you as possible, and crumble it into himself. You are flattened against your bed briefly by the experience. You're still able to get away from Doramon enough. He smashes the wall again with his tail, this time hard enough to put a hole in it, and then jumps out of that hole immediately.
Well, that's not good.
Nope.
I'm gonna go peek out of the hole and I'm gonna look at my brother. And I'm gonna go, did you see that?
The door managed to like jostle itself open after Doramon's first tail swipe. Your brother, who is literally just meekly peeking in with barely just his eyes and just, you have a pet dinosaur?
Yeah, apparently. Don't tell mom. I'm going to have to ask you for a bit of help here, so that the dinosaur that just got out of this room doesn't do a lot more harm. Is that okay? Just for today.
The face he makes is absolute confusion. It is so lost and so out. It's like you just told him the single most confusing thing. Like the words you just said were in a language he could understand for a brief moment. And he looks at you and slowly nods his head before responding. And we're gonna cut ourselves away to break as we make this response. So friends, go ahead and start to get yourselves ready as we're heading away to our first break for the evening. So for those who are at home, don't touch that dial or that browser. We'll be right back with some With the Will. So don't go anywhere as Kian's brother looks in the doorway, nods his head slowly, and looks with more confusion than he has ever had in his life. Not at you having a pet dinosaur, not at the hole being blown at the wall. He looks at you with confusion and says, Kian, you never asked for help. And with that, we'll be right back. See y'all in a few minutes. And we return to tonight's episode of With the Will, our Digimon Odyssey. Where we last left off, our party found themselves split up as they returned seemingly to the spots they immediately left off when they first entered the digital world, meaning they have split, in some cases, across some very vast distances. As the group begins to work this out and figure out what to do as far as their digital partners existing in the material world here, and also what to do with meeting up with the rest of the material girls elsewhere, we have to move ourselves over to look at one Kian, who appears to be dealing with, well, let's say some personal issues. A dinosaur-sized personal issue. Where we last left off, Kian, you were in your room, feeling the overbearing weight of all the responsibilities that were kind of all wrapping up in you, being kind of consumed a bit by all the things you had to deal with. Doramon appears took on this pain, took it from you, trying to shield you from it, shield you from all the people who, in his mind, appear to be trying to hurt you. You tried to sort of pull that pain back, make it so that you wouldn't feel it, and it felt like he literally snatched it away from you, and then bashed a hole in the wall and took off to the rest of the house. Let's tap back in right there as you step after you check in with your little brother, and then tear back through the wall and head. Is your house multiple stories or just one?
It's multiple stories because there's multiple people.
Right. You head downstairs as you notice that the stairs are fine. The railing has been smashed through. Doramon has literally smashed through and landed down in the living room as you were coming down the stairs. Where's the rest of your family right now?
What was that? Can you repeat the question?
Where's the rest of your family right now? Where's everybody else?
Dad
Where's
is
everybody else?
probably asleep
Mhm.
in the bedroom. I am praying that he hasn't woken up. I'm actually gonna go check and just peek in to see. Grandma's probably in the living room watching a telenovela because that's a great afternoon activity. My grandma absolutely loves watching telenovelas and can memorize, just a little lore. I'm just gonna drop a little lore about my grandma. Grandma, for whatever reason, you ask whatever channel in whatever show, she knows what's happening.
She knows the deep lore. He's there when it was written.
He's onto it. Whatever show that is there, she's. That's basically how she spends all her day, watching TV.
Well,
and that's
Is
just
this
lore.
is this Kian's grandma or is this Glyza grandma lore?
This is also my grandma.
Yes.
Kian's grandma.
Do you know what it knows?
We call that good character bleed.
Like that as well. But Kian's grandma definitely. Basically. So if you ever, she's like a TV guide. So if you ever miss something, you want to know, like a catch up, you just ask my grandma. Anyways, that's what she's doing. She's in the living room. My cousins are probably in their own bedrooms right now. My uncle and my aunt are probably at work. Grandpa, well, my grandpa's probably, I'm gonna make it sad. My grandpa's dead, so he's not there in the house. Sorry. There we go. That's everybody.
So, you mentioned your grandmother watching telenovelas on the TV, which it's a big shame that the TV just got literally smashed into by a 3-4 foot dinosaur. As Doramon literally crashes into the living room, gets up and thrashes around a bit, and smashes up a cabinet, the TV is ruined, some other things go flying. You can hear your grandmother...
Grandma?
Sorry? Please.
So as Doramon jumps on the TV, my grandma will go, "What kind of Pokemon is on top of my TV right now?" And I'm like, oh shit, Grandma saw Doramon. So I'm gonna go run, but it's in Tagalog, so whatever. So I'm gonna go run downstairs and I'm gonna go, "Grandma, are you okay?" And go ahead.
No, right as you run downstairs, you'll see your cousins are also opening the doors to hear all the yelling and screaming and things. Doramon is still thrashing around a bit, but has already headbutted the front wall once, and you've seen how much weight Doramon could put behind when they're throwing it around. You reach that wall's coming down in another hit or two.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to my cousins. I'm gonna go, just stay in your room. Everything's fine. You don't have to do anything, but stay in your room. Make sure you do your homework. And then before I completely leave the house, I am going to peek in my dad's room, like in my parents' room, just to make sure my dad is still asleep, because he really needs the rest.
Your dad is a very heavy sleeper. You see that he is like shuffled around, like he's shifted sides, but he is, for now at least, still out of it. It is,
Perfect.
however,
That sounds like my dad.
true. Same as mine. As you're coming back out of the you're taking on your dad. You're seeing your cousins coming out and going, "Hey, stay in your room. It's okay. Do your homework. I've got this." Looking at your grandma, you can see them all like shrieking, yelling, trying to figure out what's going on. Maybe responding to you, maybe not. But you hear words from them as you look at each of them. When you look at your cousin, your one cousin, you can hear, "Hey, Keen, can you help me get this thing out of the tree? I got my ball stuck up there earlier." It's just in your head though. You look at your other cousin, you can hear, "Hey, Keen, I need some help with getting my hair right for the thing I have to do later. Can you help me out with that?" You look at your grandmother, you can hear, "Keen, the remote broke again. Keen, can you get my food ready? Keen, can you help me fix my bed?" It's almost like every time you look at them, you can hear all the things they ask of you, all the things they've demanded of you, all the things that they rely on you for. Push and press down on your mind the more you look at them. And every time you look at one of them, it just gets louder.
Okay, this is not gonna work. I close my eyes. And I'm gonna be like, I really need for everyone to calm down, and I will handle the angry dinosaur.
And it's
Everyone just relax.
it gets quiet for just the briefest second. Just as Doraemon smashes their head into the front wall one more time, and once more puts a decent 3 or 4 foot diameter hole in the middle of that wall and spirals out onto the middle of the street. There are people out on the street who are looking in absolute wonder. Some are screaming, some are running, some are shouting profanities. A few people are pulling out what might look like small devices, maybe a phone or two. Some people are calling others. You can even see some people are in their windows on house phones making calls. It's creating a scene, certainly, but as you close your eyes and stop looking at your family, the voices get a little quieter and a little quieter, and you're slowly able to put your mind back together. And you can, as you slowly open your eyes again, see, just for a brief second, a little bit of black lightning just circle up your hand and up to the top of your finger, and then fizzle out.
I am gonna go to my grandmother first, though, just to make sure she's okay. And I'm gonna go, Lola, I really have to take care of that little Godzilla thing that's out there right now. I can't help you right now. I have to go. Are you gonna be okay?
Your grandma grabs onto both of your arms, seemingly, of course, very freaked out about this. But as you finally settle those last few words, "Are you going to be okay?" She breathes once, looks at you with the calm, resolute face of a parental figure. "Are you?"
I'm always okay.
She kisses the top of your forehead. "Go."
All right, and then I brush myself off. I'm gonna go. All right, time to deal with this, and just jump out the hole in the wall and try to run after Doraemon.
You take off down the street, and as you're looking at Doraemon, you can see that he's already like pulsing, like that gem on his forehead pulsing bright red. Once, twice. And you can see as you're out on the street looking at Doraemon, everyone, it's a pretty, I'm imagining your neighborhood is decently close knit. People know you pretty well.
It's also very, very crowded.
I imagine. So there are lots of people on the street right now, and plenty of them are coming up to you and shouting, "What's happening? What's going on? What is this? Kian, what? I mean, it came out of your house, so obviously they're wondering, is this like a pet of yours? What's going on?" Everyone's asking you questions, and it's almost like just before, everything is pressuring and weighing on you. And again, for as much as you're able to mute it all out and sort of focus on trying to keep Doraemon safe, you have to wonder how he's taking this. As that gem flashes a third time, and briefly his whole form is enveloped in red, and when it fades, he is bigger. His wings more pronounced, his fur out, his claws longer. He is Darugamon now, and is still
That's not
thrashing, whipping his tail about. "Stop, stop, no, stop, stop!" People are trying to sort of gather what's going on, and again, more people are moving over to you, trying to ask you what's going on. That gem glows bright red, so bright it almost washes out into the air, the area, and then a beam of it pierces straight up into the night sky as Doramon shouts as loud as possible, and just erupts.
You're
Noise gated real hard, Foxy.
Sorry, just get away from my friend as loud as possible.
okay.
And slams the ground. The red fades away, and Ian, you've seen a few of your friends Digimon digivolve. You missed Angewomon and Lady Devamon because you were otherwise occupied, but you've seen your friends evolve. You've seen Renamon go to Yokomon. You've seen Jellymon go to Tetsugamon. It's a miraculous occurrence, but it's also just, it's always gradual. The thing that happens here, you've seen Doramon go to Darugamon. It looks a lot like Doramon, bigger, a little scarier maybe, but still looks a little bit like your friend. The thing that emerges from this bright column of red light looks nothing like Doramon. It is imposing. It is a tall, giant figure of, well, it looks like, well, it's a flesh-made figure. It's a person, a humanoid figure, a humanoid lizard, almost, a reptilian man without a tail. The other thing that's strange is that he's every inch of his orange skin is covered in gold-plated armor. Over his legs, forming clawed shin guards. Over his chest, forming a grand sort of focused armor plate. 2 hexagonal plates form on the back. And on the back, you can see a symbol that looks like a cross almost, like that symbol you associate with your crest. That cross symbol, except it's shattered. The symbol split down the middle jaggedly as that hexagon splits like wings. The figure swipes 2 hands covered in giant armored claws with 3 long blades at the end on either side. It swipes them to its side and brays fire emanating from under a dragon-shaped mask, and a voice that is angry and defensive and prideful roars out and whispers to the area. War, Greymon.
This is totally just a Glyza question. Is he hot?
I'll get you a picture.
Probably.
Given how well I know you, Glyza, you probably would.
I mean, there's not a lot I wouldn't, but sure. Let's
True.
see.
So, while you're dealing with that, I want to ask, do you pull out your Digivice as it is going off right now?
I am going to look at my Digivice just to see what is happening.
You're going to see a few things. The first thing you'll see is that your Digivice is malfunctioning almost. It is glitching. You can see this image constantly flash in and out, up and of your screen, constantly messing with your view. And as you're trying to get a sense of it, you can see there's a symbol trying to manifest itself on your screen that just can't make itself clear. You're trying to get what's going on, but it finally manifests and clears up, and you can see the image on your screen. It matches the Digimon you're looking at in front of you. It spins around, and Kian, you maybe don't know a whole lot about the way Digimon seem to work, but you've been figuring there's a line of evolution. In fact, you can see there's 4 points of evolution for every Digimon you look at. It has a highlighted version of what level it is. Doramon had that first one, rookie. Darugamon has that second one, which is champion. And there's of course the 3rd and 4th ones. You're scanning this Digimon in front of you, and it says War Greymon. It doesn't read as connected to your Doramon line at all. And what's more concerning for you is that it doesn't have that 3rd spot filled in. It has the 4th one. War Greymon's a mega level. And he is angry.
Oh no.
I'm going to leave you to sit on that for a while. Figuring out, staring at your new Digimon / hot boyfriend.
Yeah,
Mhm.
100%. But please continue. Yeah.
That's fine. You're good.
Okay.
I'll let you sit on that for a while we slide our way back over to our friends. Each of you is in your own homes or traveling to your own homes. I know one of you is headed towards someone else. And you can say whether you've gotten there or not on your own as you will. We can deal with that as we need to here. But overall, you all have now recognized you're all back home. You've made your plans for what to do, and you're talking to each other. I don't really have a lot of guidance for what the four of you to do, what to do until a thing happens. But don't worry, we'll get there. So we'll pick back up pretty much where you all left off with uh, all of you checking in the group chat and talking about what to do about your Digimon and your and introducing your parents to them or your friends to them as you are figuring things out. Let's go ahead and pass it off to you. Each of you can tell me where you are right now, if you've made it home or if you're still on your way traveling to somewhere, and then we can talk about what you're doing.
I guess I'm gonna jump back in with something like a text message. And that also starts the shenanigans. Um, I was like, you get a picture, and it's in a PetSmart, and it's Terriermon interacting with a dog, and then you get another pic, and then you just get like needed shampoo. It was a grave mistake.
Yeah, the first picture is just like Terriermon, like nosing at the dog cage. The dog just nosing back at Terriermon. The second pic is Scarlet trying to pull Terriermon away from the cage as Terriermon is now on the cage, clearly trying to get in there and fight the dog.
The second picture was like somehow I was able to I pulled my Digivice, just picked up an image caught by the security camera or something of like me pulling Terriermon away.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Just to the next message. I think I'm banned from the Madison Square Garden PetSmart.
might have to pull out a few favors to undo that. What are you guys doing?
Artie is we are back on the Fox household, and there are many empty cans of Mountain Dew Code Red.
How many of them were already and how many were Jellymon?
Look, it's impossible to say at this point.
This many Mountain Dews in, nobody can say.
Bells.
Yeah.
How much does a plane ticket to New York cost?
More
Also,
than
how much is in your bank account?
I think I have like $86.
More than me.
Is this just you two asking, or were you talking? Is this in the group chat?
Them talking to each other.
No,
Okay.
no, we're just talking to each other.
Siblings.
Okay. Mom
Maybe.
wants us money for pizza for tonight, but that's not like... You can't buy a ticket to New York with pizza money, right?
No.
Not unless you
That's
live
what
in
I
New York.
thought.
Hey, Mom, can we? So, like, we're able to chat through our phones and stuff. Are we able to go like back into the digital world and pop up where other people popped up?
Lalamon looks at your Digivice, looks at you, and just, I don't know why you would assume I know, but it's certainly possible. Our two worlds are connected, and we got here one way. I suppose if we knew how to, we could get back and pop back out somewhere else.
Hey, Digivice. Hey, Digivice. How do we get to? Are we gonna have to go get Kian? I feel like we might have to go get Kian.
Maybe.
They said
Artie's gonna flip open phone and text back. Reminder that this is an alternate universe in which the sidekick became the standard for smartphones.
Hell yeah!
oh yeah.
It's a good timeline.
Hey, Scarlet, and it's just one line of text message. You keep a computer at in quotes, David's place, right? Can you send me its MAC address?
Yeah, sure. I mean, there's a computer here at PetSmart.
I do not want to go to the PetSmart that you are banned from for life.
Yeah. I can get you the MAC address. And then also check this out. You get another picture, and it's a very, very unhappy Terriermon.
You got him outfits, didn't you?
There's like a little bow, and then there's a collar.
He's just.
He has a leash on. He said he
Oh.
wanted to walk, so he can walk. But he's gonna have to be on a leash. If he was,
People be so mad.
Yeah, he's very unhappy.
He's gonna beat the
He's
crap
very,
out of you.
very unhappy. But yeah.
If I just said, listen, you can either be a stuffed animal and I can carry you, or you have to have a collar, like a pet collar on.
And you just. Well, I'm not
Hey.
happy about this or that.
Hey, Jellymon, you should look through some of our old clothes. See if there's anything that fits you.
Jellymon pops out wearing a massive, like, it's like one of those, like, fucking, what's the hat? Like one of those, old school, like, Kangol hats, like, poets used to wear to fucking poetry slams in, like, the 70s. One of those big ones your dad has. Just pops up, just already on it.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
You look great.
And then, like, yeah, so, like, then go over and go to David's, which I imagine, for sake of brevity, is actually fairly close to this PetSmart that I'm at.
That's David's favorite PetSmart.
Yeah.
David fucking lives in Greenwich Village.
So I get to the door and I use my key to unlock the door and walk in.
You walk in. David is on the couch playing Grand Theft Auto. He pauses and just
one.
4.
Okay. Okay.
Modded 4 though. It's modded. It's modded 4.
Okay.
What's he modding it with? That's my question.
You know what?
David.
We'll come back to David's mod list later. David just looks over and why don't you go ahead and briefly describing it for us, Akers?
Okay. So David is how old did I say Scarlett was? Like,
That's a good question, actually. How fucking old are you people?
like
What's
Scarlett?
time?
You've said that Scarlett is old enough to be actively looking at or accepted into colleges before.
Yeah, so probably about like
18 or 19.
Yeah.
18, 19, yeah. And David would be like a couple years older than her. So probably about 22. He's like Canadian mixed Mexican and like black hair, and he likes to eat a lot of spicy food, essentially. And so there's like jugs of there's like a I can't remember the name of that spicy drink. There's that spicy soda.
LaCroix.
Anyone drink spicy soda? You say LaCroix.
Wow, your whiteness is
It's too
showing.
spicy.
So there's some of that, and then there's also like he's of drinking age, so there's also some like some cinnamon can like whatever the cinnamon whiskey.
I'm sorry. He drinks Fireball after the age of 20. Ah!
Last time I had that, I fell out of a tree.
Oh damn! You gotta tell us that story sometime.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
It seems like people think that David's a fuckboy.
Does David's place
you
have
do
enough
only have
spices to make a Caucasian person just like
Okay,
wilt?
hold on. I'm getting back into character. Okay. So,
What does Bree
you open
say?
the door. David is playing GTA 4. He pauses the game, looks over, and just, oh well, hey, look who showed up, and you brought your weird dog, as promised.
Yeah. Taeron, go ahead and go say hi. There's no point like hiding it from him.
Terriermon just, hey, and David, what the it talks.
Yes. Show what else you can do.
David,
Don't attack him. Just do something fun.
Terriermon jumps up and then flaps his ears twice to kind of like hover in the air, and then spins a little and lands. Ta-da! David blinks once, blinks twice, reaches under his couch to pull up a small box, opens it, pulls out a small bag of something green, and just goes, I gotta find better stuff. Okay.
No.
Talking dog. What else you got for me?
How does this man call Terriermon a dog?
I'm like, sweetie. If anything, he's a rabbit.
Fucking rabbit dog. We can worry about what it is later. You want to tell me, well, what it is?
She blinks. Well, not she doesn't blink. She thinks for a minute, and then she's like, you know what? I honestly don't fully know what he is, but they call themselves Digimon.
Terriermon puffs his chest up and says, short for digital monster. And he says, digital. So it's a hologram? You got some projector in your pocket? What's the game, chick?
Wait, what did he say?
You got a projector in your pocket? He's a hologram? What's the game, love?
Okay. No, he's real, and I pet him. I pet Terriermon.
David will walk up and poke the middle of his forehead and just, oh, come on, dude. And he's, oh, okay. All right. So, where did you get off to this morning?
Wait, while this is happening, what is Scarlett's text message chime?
Oh, that's a good question.
The X-Files theme, actually. I established earlier on, like, Scarlett has, like, this weird fascination with the occult and the mystery stuff. So she... Hold on, I look at it.
It's just, like, repeated messages. MAC address. MAC address.
Oh my God.
MAC address. MAC address.
Where would you put my PC?
It's in the back. I haven't moved it.
Okay. I don't know. Okay, just okay. Come with me. Something weird's gonna happen, but it's just best if you see it, so we then like all at once, so then we can all explain it, and we don't like. So it's not a thing that we have to explain in pieces, because it's been a long 6 hours. It's been longer for me. And then so like I'll grab him by the hand. Oh, and then like pull him into the back. I guess this is where the bathroom is.
Yeah.
Okay, so I point into the bathroom, and I look at Terriermon. Okay, go get in the bath. And turn the water on.
Yeah, he looks at the water and just, whoa, that's cool. And just kind of hops in and starts like splashing around a little bit.
Oh, thank goodness you like baths. And then I was like, oh wait, hold on. And then I go in and I get the special rabbit shampoo that I bought. I put it in the water, and then I go and I rinse it into his fur, like on the top of his head a little bit, and then I'm like, enough so that he can get the gist of like how I'm doing it.
Yeah,
and
actually, just kind of like, oh, these bubbles are awesome.
Yeah. So now that he's playing in the bath, I just, at least this bit was easy. And then I go and I open up the PC and I get the MAC address and I send it to Artemis.
Yeah, nice. I'm hacking you now.
We should probably tell Foxfire that we're going, and I'm going to, as I'm saying that, be Skyping Foxfire. Because if we're using sidekicks, we're definitely using Skype still.
Hell yeah. Why not use the inferior platform? No, I'm kidding. It's fine. Skype's fine. Foxfire, we haven't heard from you in a fair bit. Where you made it home yet? You still headed home? What's up?
After only being stopped once or twice by random people, like wanting Or,
Yeah,
no, Renam's
there's a
tech,
convention
so
in
that-
town. Yeah, there's a convention in town. So you get plenty of people who are like, "Whoa, her cosplay is wild."
Uh-huh.
Couple selfies, you know, a few autographs. Nothing
Uh-huh.
crazy.
Yeah. Get back to the place. Just kind of quiet. Just go in, flick on the lights, call to the cat.
Yeah, no, your cat hops on over. Describe your cat a little bit first, if you don't mind.
Hmm?
Describe your cat a little bit. What's your cat look like? What's the deal with your cat?
A little kind of like gray brown with white accents and just
Cute.
little non-opposable thumbs as some cats.
Mm.
Yeah.
So yeah, your cat hops up right in your lap as you call over, and you know your place is mostly as you left it. You know, Renamon is a little big for the doorway, but slides in and just, So this is where you dwell.
Yeah.
Quaint. Good observation points. Not a bad view. Easily guarded from hostiles.
I don't generally have to worry about my apartment being attacked.
Well, you never know.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Regardless, have you talked with the others?
I'll take out my phone and check to see like the different responses and stuff, and just, yeah, people seem to be trying to do something with MAC addresses and stuff. Ian hasn't really said anything besides busy, and I mean, you're here with me, so clearly Doramon's with Kian, so I feel like we should be in contact.
I hope they're
I'm gonna,
well.
like, go boot up my laptop and things and see if I can get things up on there. And since the others had mentioned some like computer address things, I connect to like a little like virtual LAN thing that me and Ian had set up for different game things to see if I can like see through there. And then just run him on over and be like, so since you're a Digimon, can you do anything fancy with computers?
Renamon looks at you and just, I've never seen a computer in my life.
Alright, just touch the screen, see if anything happens.
Renamon leans forward and touches the screen. It kind of seems like the end of her finger gets a bit pixelated as she does so for a brief bit, but nothing actually happened other than your screen kind of shuddering a bit as far as its display goes a little. I have a question for you though, Foxfire.
Yeah.
When your computer boots up and you check on like your browser, like you get your virtual LAN going and everything, is there anywhere the news would show up on your computer?
The news?
The news.
I mean, I guess like some pop-up thing that tries to keep setting itself to the default when the internet browser opens.
So then you're getting, I mean, usually you tend to just ignore this stuff. It's usually just like, oh, what's new in stocks? This celebrity gossip, this random thing happening in some part of the country. There's a breaking story from like 30 seconds ago, right at the top, and you, again, almost don't even notice it, except if you look at it. You would swear it says, giant man lizard attacks town in Philippines?
That's not good.
You clicking it?
Yeah.
You get a video. It's handheld footage. You could see someone running down a street, and as they turn their camera left and right, you could see like stone and debris being chucked all around as if you think this might be an earthquake or tornado or something. As the camera turns around, you can see, plain as day, an about 12 to 13 foot tall humanoid orange skinned lizard covered in gold armor smashing and wrecking the area around.
With that, Foxfire is gonna like sit down at the computer and start like bringing a few different things up and trying to find like the news place that's posting these videos and things. and probably going to put the hobby side of hacking to use to try and get into the location of their servers and see if that can be of any use.
All right. In that case, could you give me I believe it's smarts is the human stat.
Let's see, am I...
Maybe
it's
brains? Logic? I had 6 different things. Logic sounds like the one you want to use. Give me a logic roll. I'm going to set this as difficulty 3.
Okay. We'll be spending a bond.
Fantastic.
Alright, 3 successes.
That's easy pass. You are easily able to pinpoint a location. Kian, where is your hometown? You don't have to give like a town. You can not give a real name. Give me like a name for like the location of your home.
Yeah.
You there? You thinking? Oh, you're muted.
Oh,
That would be the problem.
Can you repeat the question?
It's
Pregnancy
fine.
rate.
No, you're good. I just need to know. Give me a name for Kian's hometown. It doesn't have to be a real place. Just give me a name.
Pasig.
One more time for me.
Pasig.
we're going
It's
with that. We're not going to try and say it again.
No. I'm gonna get this. One more time.
Pasig. Pasig.
Pasig. Okay, got it. Fair enough. I can tell if it was a B or a P. Cool, got it. So, you kind of correlate, like, you geolocate some coordinates and things, and you like run it through a map program, Foxfire. You recognize it correlates with a town you're pretty sure Kian once said they were from in a on voice chat once when y'all were gaming late night. It's Pasig, and you're like, oh.
Just bring up the group chat and just... Guys, I think Kian's in trouble. Just we'll post a link to article.
Yeah, and you all see, true to form, a giant, what looks like a Digimon, rampaging a village in the Philippines.
Oh no. Maybe we might want to reroute. Maybe we go to New York from the Philippines. If we can figure out how to get to the Philippines first.
Fire's gonna turn to Renamon and be like, so when you spoke with the computer, do you like feel anything?
Not particularly. I'm not sure.
Alright. Fire's gonna like try to open up a connection to the servers that she's gotten into with that and just like take kind of Renamon's hand in hers and just kind of like press it into the screen a bit.
Wait, what do you mean reroute? I imagine
Well,
this is the Discord chat.
I got your MAC address because we were gonna prove that David doesn't exist.
I could post this. He's standing right. I'm like,
You gonna
at
take
this
a selfie?
point,
I know how fast you are with Photoshop.
it's like he's standing right here.
Fastest memes in the East.
I call you and I put on video chat.
I know your dad's. Look, I know your dad's rich. This could be an elaborate hoax.
This could be a body double.
Also, and
Paid actor.
what does David say to that?
It's just like, you got some cool friends.
Really? That's all you have to say?
I mean, I don't know.
David, do you know how to travel through the internet?
Is this part of the talking rabbit dog thing?
Yes.
No.
Maybe.
There's no talking rabbit dog.
Carry your mom literally talking the call. I'm
shit.
literally right here. Like, soap on his head and everything.
Oh, hey, Terramon.
Okay, so you guys know what talking rabbit dog?
Maybe.
Jellymon at this moment chooses to like stretch slide into frame.
Oh, what the hell? Okay, all right, okay. So there's multiple weird monster animal things. Does that one talk too? Jellymon just, sup? All right, okay. So look at Scarlet. You and your friends have monsters from the internet that can talk.
And fight.
Hey, Bells, hold this. I need a digivice for a minute. Yeah, there you go. And while somebody fills David in on what's going on, I'm looking for anything in our digivices that could be like unusual or like new functionality, because you said that the time showed up recently.
So-
Something else did.
Yeah, no, it's funny. It's funny. Two things happen simultaneously. Fire, you are holding Renamon's hand and locking onto the screen. Your device is in your other hand. Artie, you are looking at the device, trying to figure out what's going on. The same thing happens for both of you at the same time, at this instance. A brief screen pops up on the middle of the device, and a voice just says, "Portal function unlocked."
Now we're thinking with it, baby.
Portal
And I'm
what?
gonna open that. I'm gonna open the portal function. I'm gonna type in David's MAC type in Scarlett's MAC address.
Wait, why are we going there? We should go to the Philippines.
This is well, okay. So here's my thinking, right? MAC addresses uniquely identify a piece of hardware on a network. You remember when we did the old game that we needed to like make the server for? We all had to give our MAC address so that like the computers could talk to each other.
Oh, like Warcraft?
Exactly. You remember? Wasn't it so sad when the Warcraft servers died?
Mm-hmm.
So when we put up the new Warcraft server, we all had to like register it so that the computers could talk to each other. The MAC address is like how we know which computer to go to. So we have Scarlett's address in New York. We could probably figure out what Kian's address in the Philippines is, but I don't know about you. I don't know just like a bunch of computers in the Philippines.
That's
Meanwhile, Fire will just like send the address that she's going to.
Yeah.
Artie, you tap your computer with the with your device, and a sort of a window pops up. A literal sort of blue and black circular window broadens out through your screen until it encompasses your whole screen. As you place your hand up to it, you feel your hand sink into it.
I should grab Jellymon. Grab the other two.
Jellymon just like literally just stretches over and grabs on Lalamon. Lalamon's like, "Okay,
I try to grab a code red box with my foot.
you managed to snag a single toe on like the puncture
Yeah,
like hook of a code red box.
And through.
Yeah, and you just like you snag that on your toe and yank it along with the 4 of you plus code red box as you all slide through the portal. Meanwhile, Foxfire, you press your hand to your screen with Renamon's, and the same phenomenon happens. A blue and black window opens up on your screen and broadens, and as you both press your hands into it, you feel it slide through. And as you push through, you literally pop out of a much smaller screen. You feel yourself literally have to slip through a screen as you pop out of the person's phone who recorded that video.
Oh.
So in broad daylight, you just slide into view out of someone's phone screen. And the person...
Can I see this?
Kian, you are literally running, trying to figure out what's going on. As you stop and slide, hearing another scream coming from behind you, you turn and realize a person who was already screaming about the giant dragon man ruining things down the street is also now shouting about the two human, the human person and their giant fox who just slipped out of their phone. It looks familiar to you, though.
Just like collapsed in a heap and just like standing up and just be like, stop screaming. Just, it's fine. Just, you're hallucinating. I'm gonna
He just
go.
takes off running down the street.
Hi, how'd you get here?
I don't know.
Awesome. Welcome to my town. So glad that you could come visit.
Where's
Chunk of
your
debris
mom?
smashes into the ground right next to you, right? Or not next to you, but like smashes into the ground like a bit from you, right? You say like, "Welcome to my town. It's so nice to see you."
Little busy. It's getting destroyed by that. By
Wait,
that.
and
And I'm
Doraemon help with
questioning
that?
A lot of things about myself currently. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
that's not the right time to unpack it. How are you?
Fire's gonna be like, where's Doraemon? Can he help with whatever that is?
That is Doraemon.
Oh.
War Greymon turns and smashes a claw, swipes it through a building, and just roars, and just continues to just destroy the area around. He looks mindless, just angry.
Does he remind you of the other Digimon that were messed up by the pillars? This is bad.
Yeah.
How'd you both... Sorry,
I think I did that.
It's as you say, I think I did that Doraemon smashes both of those claws into the ground, kicking up a wave of dust that washes over both of you. You can hear him just yell again, just, "Get away from my friend!" And just keeps swiping his claws at everything around him. It's as you are all thinking about that, Scarlet, you're watching your computer as it briefly goes blue-white, and a hand, followed by an arm, followed by the rest of Artemis, and then Jellymon, and then Lalamon, and then Isabella, and then a box of Mountain Dew Code Red, slide out of your computer screen.
I'm just.
What did David say?
David doesn't have any words. He just,
Ooh, eat shit, FAA!
Say, everyone, I want you to meet David.
I don't see anybody. I knew it was an elaborate. Looks directly at David as he says that.
David's just
I don't
looking
see
at
anybody.
David's
I
just
knew
looking
it
at all
was
of
an
you, just like,
elaborate hoax.
I don't know what's going on anymore. Am I real?
Yes. And I was like, look, Artemis, don't do that.
Come on.
No, he's gonna.
I'm never gonna girl boss if I don't do a little bit of gaslighting and gatekeeping beforehand.
He's gonna have to talk to. This is already a lot. Do you know how much he's gonna have to pay for a therapist after all this? Like,
Parenthetically. That's how Artemis comes out.
Oh yeah. Nice.
I would like to say that a therapist wouldn't believe him if he explained it to them.
I just believe myself right now. So can we please skip the... Can someone explain what's going on right now?
Scott,
Yeah, we're taking a trip to the Philippines. You're staying here, and here is a Mountain Dew Code Red for the trouble.
He takes the Mountain Dew Code Red, cracks it, takes a very long breath, and just
Cheers.
cheers. Jellymon also jumps up and just cheers and joins in. And after a very, very long gulp, is just. So when will you be back from the Philippines?
20, 30 minutes.
I like again.
These
I
things
look
go
back.
by very, very quickly.
Yeah.
Oh, I should probably let you answer, Scarlet. Sorry.
Scarlet is like, no, I think Artemis is right. I mean, probably not long. It depends on what we have to do when we get there. I mean, heck, you have my MAC address now. So like, once we get there and we have to deal with this, we can make a quick getaway before like the Filipino military shows up or something.
I hope they don't get involved before we
Good.
resolve this.
You don't have a lot of, you don't have to worry about it.
Artemis has wandered into the other room, and it's just like, oh shit, is that modded GTA 4?
And then seemingly trying to get back normal is like, yeah, nah, I gotta put a few packs on, nothing crazy, just some immersion stuff, texture packs.
What is hot coffee?
Oh, that's.
Assuming it's good, I don't know what you mean.
Nope.
Wait,
No, we're not getting into that right now.
Wait, is that a naughty mod?
That's the San Andreas mod. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the San Andreas naughty mod that
No, then Scarlet comes
absolutely
over.
blew up the internet for a minute.
Scarlet comes over and like stares at this and then looks at David. We're gonna have a talk later.
No. It's just named that way as a meme, I promise. The actual... later. Aren't you going to the Philippines?
He crosses her arms. And I guess
Hold on. David earlier said that his sister was home.
Yeah, she's asleep though. Was what he mentioned.
Yeah, but we've been making a lot of noise.
She's a
That's
heavy
fair.
sleeper. She takes
Does she
melatonin.
wake up?
I mean, she's definitely probably thinking, like, actually, like, as she thinks, just like, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. Okay, so, one person that I'm not supposed to have company. My girlfriend's explainable, maybe. This is a lot.
Oh, you mean you're not just gonna tell them that, like, two people and two strange creatures just, like, worm tubed their way out of your girlfriend's computer in the middle of the... Is it... What time is it here? Morning? Morning. Almost after...
It's probably like 6 in the morning.
It's about
Anyway.
7:30.
You did... Look, I'm just saying.
Listen, okay,
You could try telling the truth.
okay, that's probably not gonna work. But David, don't you have a thing later tonight? Over on the other side of town, near my dad's house.
Well, yeah, I had to drop by your dad's work and grab something for him from the office. He said it's important for me to drop it off to him.
Okay, and so like when do you have to do that again?
Probably in a couple hours. Go grab some lunch first.
Okay. You're right. Like, I guess like bringing everyone here out of the blue was kind of like, you know, not great. But because the computer is a laptop, so she's then gonna ask, just like we're not bringing everyone back here later. When you go to do that, drop my computer off there, but just have it open somewhere where, I mean, if you put it in my dad's office and say it's mine, my dad will just leave it. He won't touch it. So if you just put it in the, plug it in so it doesn't.
Takes a few minutes to, like, slowly, as you're, like, explaining this, then he kind of cuts you off and just, are you planning on sneaking into your dad's office?
She's like, I don't really need to sneak into my dad's office.
And why not leave
But-
your computer there?
Well, just so then we can get back there and so we don't have to bring everyone back here. I
Yeah.
just figured that, I mean, I guess you could take it to my house, to my dad's house.
Hey,
Like,
he kind of, like, takes a minute, just, hey, and puts two hands up on his shoulders. I trust you. All right, babe? You in his office? It'll be there. Just be careful out there.
here you go. Thank you.
And he just goes, and I want all of this explained when you guys get back.
Then she says, I mean, I already did try to explain it. And then she'll like lean up, kiss him on the cheek, and then turn around. I was like that ends the conversation. Because like
And
she's
she's like-
already tried to explain it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm proud of you to go through the computer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then it's time to go through the computer. Let's go.
Yeah. You all are able to tap into the coordinates that Scarlet...
Wait, I want the sister to show up before we leave.
No, it's actually... so
As
give me a
you-
second, Vermin. I was kidding there.
Okay.
Sorry. No, it's fine. It's as you guys like tap onto those coordinates and you see the portal begin to open up, you can hear feet come down the stairs. And it's just, oh no. And she's just, Dave, you up? What you doing down there? I was masturbating. Don't come down yet, please. And she's
Bro,
like, you want to go right now.
I was like, oh, Terriermon, come on.
Terriermon hops up and just like starts to stumble over. Jellymon peeks over your head. Artie is just like, what's masturbating?
Scarlet, why did you bring us to your this house if he's masturbating? Like, what?
It's when you set a really good trap.
His sister's just like, what are the voices I hear? She's like, the porn I'm watching.
I had to say hello to his sister.
Yes. Yes.
And then I grab Terriermon. and I towel, and I start drying him off real quick, and I just go to the door, I open it, and I poke Terramon out for the sister to see. I was like, hey, we're about to leave. Hit me up later if you want to see him some more. And I point to the Terramon, and then I close the door, and I go and jump in the computer.
And as you are all,
sticks his head out in the hall.
you'll see his sister make the most flabbergasted face. And as you all finally go to step through the computer and make your way out of there, you can briefly hear her shout David's entire government name as she begins to lay into him.
As she's yelling, I make eye contact with David as the last one to leave, and I'm like, later, nerd.
Wow.
And his sister just looks at you, looks back at him, looks at you, and you're not there anymore. None of you are there anymore. And she's like, I'm going back to bed. And she just turns and walks away as you all feel a strange sensation of being almost not moved, just kind of pulled. Like all of you is kind of stretched to a location and then compacted back in as you all push out. Well, it's a little weird because the screen you're coming out of is moving back and forth rapidly as the person holding it is now running down the street. Meaning as you all come out, you get kind of flung a little bit, not too far.
Same person.
Same person, through the same exact phone.
Huh.
You pop out and fling a good half a foot, maybe full foot down the street and just land in a big old puddle of idiots. And you'll see in front of you Foxfire, Renamon, Kian, and a very big, very angry Digimon you have not seen before.
I do shout to my neighbor, I'm sorry!
Is your neighbor the one
I'm
who's
sorry!
is your neighbor the one whose phone it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is still running down the street, so he doesn't respond. But in general,
Poor Andrew.
Andrew. So
No,
It's not Andrew's day.
it's been rough for Andrew. So,
Boy, that's his nickname.
oh, that's cute. I love that. So, the party is all reassembled. You all gather together and see that you're all here. Kian, you are mildly surprised to see your friends all in front of you suddenly.
Why are you here? I mean,
We saw them, and we saw it on the news.
Well, Foxfire saw it in the news, and then we were like, yeah.
Yeah, this seems like
Oh,
a
it turns out
bigger
David
than-
is real.
oh! Well, I totally believe
Wait,
that.
what? You saw David?
You can meet him once we figure this out.
Well, maybe after a bit, because I got him. Well, if he moves the computer like he's supposed to, then you won't.
I have
Give
no
him
idea,
some time.
but I'm glad you're here.
Yes.
Yeah,
Anything for you, bud.
yeah.
So, like, I guess we need to help. We need to deal with that, though.
Mm-hmm. As you all turn and look, I think Artie's waiting for a fist bump.
Oh, from who? Oh,
No, the three of you.
Everyone.
Kian, come on. Wow.
Ian,
No.
you bump Artie's fist, and you could still barely hear that nagging, that constant call of your voice, and of your name in 1,000 different voices at the back of your brain. When you bump fists with Artie, for a flash second, for a quarter of a second, it goes quiet. Just as you touch Artie's fist. And then as soon as you guys let go, it's back.
Artemis, do that again.
You sure this is the time to perfect the fist bump?
The moment you guys fist bump, a giant claw smashes down beside you both, sending you both sprawling apart and clattering to the ground as War Greymon smashes a hand down and brings his head down to roar in the face of the four people. Very clearly not facing Kian, though, and just, stay away from my friend.
Right, he is doing that.
And he brings that claw up again, like he's about to smash it into you all again.
Paramount, we need to protect everyone.
In front of him and go, wait!
It stops. The rest of the Digimon all clench. Renamon whispers to you, Fire. Just, that's a mega level. Should we step this up?
I was thinking that, yeah. He
Mm.
pulls out the
And he-
Digivice, just...
Renamon just takes a quick roll. This is kind of like a full inverted, kind of like, reverse bridge in a cartwheel. And as she lands, is fully larger and quadrupedal. Yokomon. Kian, Wargreymon is in front of you, just stopping, looking, but does cut an eye over as Yokomon evolves.
While that happens, I'm holding my hand up and I'm gonna go look at Fire and I'm gonna go, I'm gonna try to stop it. Please don't attack him. It's not his fault.
He is struggling to hold his hand back, like he wants to swipe at all the people behind you.
You
but
better
it's
go
clearly-
fast.
So, Kian, describe to me what you were trying to do to reach out to Doraemon in this moment, and then I'll give you your roll you need to make.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start walking closer, and I'm going to say, "Look, people are staying away from me as you wanted. It's just the two of us. Can we talk, please?"
He slams that hand down, like, next to himself again, and just, I won't let them hurt you.
I'm okay. See?
You're not.
Emotionally, I get that. But we're gonna talk about it, and that's how I become okay, right? Remember? Back in that other world, we talked a lot, we made each other feel better. That's how we're gonna do this.
He brings his head down more and just, everyone takes from you. Everyone needs you. It hurts you.
Yeah. Honestly, it's probably a little bit my fault. Because I let them.
He brays his nose at you, a puff of steam and smoke rushing out of his nostrils.
If I promise to be better about taking care of myself, can we talk more about this?
He brings his head down more and just wants you to stop hurting. Wants you to be okay. While this is happening, Jellymon, Lalamon, and Terriermon are all beside their respective partners and just clearly looking up at you all, kind of saying, like, what should we do? Lalamon does, however, echo Renamon's statement of, this is a mega level. I don't think we're strong enough, even with our new powers.
What if we don't try to defeat it, but we let Kian keep talking to them? Because I don't think that right now is a good time for fists.
Lalamon just kind of meekly nods and sort of settles back into you a little and just
Scarlet's
little nod.
Scarlet's gonna look down
Whole body.
at. Scarlet actually just looked down at Terriermon and says, "I agree with that statement, but maybe maybe we can do something to stop everyone else from continuing to try and like interrupt them. Like maybe."
I've got an idea.
What's
What
your
if-
idea?
And I turn and look at the neighbor who we just came out of their phone. What is it that you need help with that you normally ask Kian to do, but they're not here to help you right now because they're taking care of themselves?
The neighbor stops and just, Kian? I asked them to walk my dog the other day, and they never got around to it. But that's
Well, why don't you walk your own dog? All right, next. Oh wait, sorry, that wasn't nice. Do you need us to walk your dog?
He just says, well, I have a lot of my family is a little ill recently, so it's not as easy for me to find the time. So if you could please, I suppose
Wait a minute, you don't have a lot of time, yet you're standing out here continuously filming this?
Where's your dog?
Well, they were running away.
We
so-
have a friend here. This is Terriermon. Terriermon loves dogs, and Terriermon would love to walk your dog.
The neighbor is just standing there staring blankly, and it's just, you know what? Let's go ahead and do this well. I'm gonna need a spirit roll from you, Isabella. I'm gonna say difficulty is gonna be, let's say 3 again. I like 3. 3's a good number.
Can I
Okay.
can I
Spirit roll?
can I give Isabella the benefit from my cutting the noise?
Sure.
By-
fuck it, why not?
Yeah.
But
So
the
you're gonna
boost
roll this roll
die?
with boost.
It's an additional die, right, for boost?
Oh, no,
No,
boost is just you succeed on 3s or higher rather than 4s or higher.
Okay.
The same number of die.
I'm so spirited. If it was a logic roll, I'd be fucked.
A Fuchs kid.
That seems to be a
Are
trend
not
amongst
smart.
6 and a 5,
That is enough. 3
Three.
successes.
and I had 3 ones.
Oh. The neighbor meekly stares, just says, oh, and like looks and notices that like the giant monster lizard man isn't ruining anything anymore, but it's just kneeled over and talking with Kian. So he just says, okay, and just turns and very meekly walks back to a house where the front door is, or the front has been literally clawed open by these three massive talons on Wargreymon's gauntlets. He just steps in through a door, or through like a claw mark, comes back a few minutes later with a small puppy in his hands, walks back over and just, this is my dog?
What's the name?
Matilda?
Okay, Terriamon.
Uh,
I need you to be very gentle with Matilda, but take them, you know, for a
So we
walk.
delegated this to Terriermon.
Also,
Terriermon walks up, true to form, just, hiya, nice to meet you, Matilda. The guy holds down the dog, cocks his eye, and just, she doesn't do that. But he puts the dog down, and Terriermon takes the leash, and is just like, so what do I do with this?
well, you know, well, I mean, you remember, right? Like in PetSmart, where like,
Oh, I get, and like you see Terriermon eyes widen as he recognizes the punishment laden on him for fighting one of these mangy mutts is now he's the one with the power. He just kind of and like turns leech and just goes, what's the word? And him and Matilda just start to shuffle off.
don't go
Ian-
too far.
King, you'll see as this happens, Doramon is literally looking over at that scene the entire time. Or sorry, Wargreymon, I should say, has had his eyes on that scene the entire time. And as Matilda and Terriermon shuffle away, he breathes out that smoke one more time.
Hey, Keen, I'm gonna go do your chores. I think that's your house. Yeah, that's where all the shrapnel's going outwards, not inwards. Yeah. You take care of this.
Okay.
And then I also asked for that
Who
dude's
needs
phone.
Kian's help? I'm the stand-in.
Do all of you speak this up in turn?
Yeah, I want to go in and meet Grandma.
After I get this dude's phone, yeah, because I'm gonna delete the footage that he's recorded.
Whoa.
It's already
Right
posted.
behind it?
Yeah, it's already on the
Oh, it's already posted. Okay.
Yeah, so
That's how we got.
We're
it.
not gonna
I-
explore the ramifications of the Streisand effect when it comes to Digimon.
we'll deal with that later. So,
Fire is probably gonna try and like talk some with Wargreymon as well with Ian.
So, as you all divvy up, as you all start helping out neighbors with chores, you all start to scatter and see literally in front of each of you is a line of people, each of whom asked Kian at some point in the past month or two for some minor task. Effectively, almost the whole of this neighborhood is now in front of the 5 of you, one at a time. Kian, you're looking over, watching as your friends are methodically, one at a time, taking care of the most mundane nonsense throughout the village. Artie is hanging laundry with a neighbor. Foxfire has already got like bringing over a paintbrush and a bucket over to Renamon, who is already like ninja sticking to a wall and working on putting in lines. Like
Nice.
Scarlet is walking with Terriamon. They now have a like collection of like 8 or 9 dogs between the two of them, just walking down the street trying to keep them all controlled. Isabella is inside with your grandma, working on just organizing, trying to put the house back together as best as she possibly can. You're watching all of your friends, and they're already looking tired. Like some of them maybe haven't done this much work in a long time.
Artemis to several people is like, that's fucking bullshit. You can do that yourself. Here's how. You have YouTube. Go. Don't ever bother Kian with that again.
Google it.
You're an adult.
Mm-mm.
Take
And you
your
see,
question, type it in, hit enter.
and you're sitting here watching as you see your friends, well, reach out and help with you. They reach out and offer you help. And it's as this is happening that everything kind of fades, Kian. You don't see your friends just in front of you, but all around you, you can see figures, people standing. Thousands of people who have, at least in your mind, needed things from you. In fact, you can see some people multiple times, like your family members. You see multiple of your grandmother, several of your brother, a bunch of your uncles and your dad and your mom, and each of them seems to have some request, some one thing they've asked for you sometime. But every time a friend does something for you, one of them fades away. One disappears. Slowly, bit by bit. Little by little. War Greymon is still tensed in front of you, but he's slowly, you can see all the muscles in his arms slowly begin to uncoil and unwind as he seems to be relaxing just the barest bit. You can still feel that pressure, that pain that he took from you weighing down on him, though.
I'm going to look around and see my friends help the neighbors, my family. I'm gonna go. This is so weird. Because I'm going to think about that later, and I'm gonna go I'm gonna go just as gently as I can without trying to, scare Wargreymon. I'm gonna walk closer, and I'm going to sit on his claw, and I'm going to go, well, other people are helping me, so that feels good. Can you feel it?
He lowers his head. You can feel it fully kind of hit the ground. And as you look at that massive skull, or that massive metal mask over his lizard-like head, you can see a single pool of liquid gather at the ends of them and start to fall down.
I'm gonna wipe it away.
He lets you, kind of leaning his massive head over into your hand, and just, I feel them. It feels good. There was all of this down here. And you feel it then, that wall of pain that he took from you. You remember when you first tried to reach it, take it back from him, there was that bit under it, that thing you couldn't feel under all of that you couldn't get to. And he says, there was something burning in me, something painful, and I couldn't get to it under all the screaming, under all the need. You have things you need too, Kian. And if you bury them under what everyone else asks for, then how will you ever ask for help?
You're right. It's just... if everybody needs me, I don't usually have time for myself. And maybe I need people to remind me to take time for myself, just like you helped me.
He lowers his head more, and you can see that, like, you can barely see over the crest in his back, but you can see that broken, cracked shield on his back is closing in and reforming slowly. Metal unbending and refixturing itself as a line begins to etch itself into that metal mask on his forehead. It's slow, line by line, bit by bit, as he begins to speak to you in jest. There are so many people who need you. But those people need you to be okay more than anything else. Never be afraid to rely on them. Is that okay?
Yeah, I'll try to remember that. Is it okay if I ask if you're okay?
He lowers his head fully as that symbol finishes, and it's that symbol you recognize that related to you. That cross-like fixture with the 4 triangle points on either side. That symbol, that feeling in you. Reliability. War Greymon is engulfed in bright white light. Every inch of him shining and shimmering. The figure morphs and forms. The hand you're sitting on kind of configuring into the arm more. And as it all settles, you remember Darugamon's little wings, just big enough to help him take flight with you and him. 2 massive, large wings that look like blades, like folded metal turned in on itself again and again, lash out on either side, whipping away dust as you are now sitting on the hand of a massive 4-legged furred dragon. It's red and lines of black. It has a long neck ending in a bright sort of flushing head with fur all around it. There's a large blade going out of its forehead, and it looks down on you with a face that you imagine could look menacing, but where War Greymon had that anger and that rage in him, this figure, as its large diamond-tipped tail swaddles around you and its head turns, looks at you with warmth and happiness, and speaks in a voice you have missed hearing in the past few minutes. Doru Greymon, it's good to see you again, friend.
It is. You're back.
I was scared. For you.
You never have to be scared from me, buddy.
It's hard not to be. You're so quiet about what hurts you sometimes. I could feel it burning in you. But I couldn't fix it. So I just took it away. I didn't want you to hurt.
I know. I'm gonna work on that, okay?
He picks his head up and just says, if any of us are going to rely on you, we have to know when you need to rely on us too. Promise me you won't suffer in silence anymore.
Yeah. Especially not with you.
And that's all I need. You want to go flying?
Hell yeah. But, I do want to check in on my friends. I'm sure they want to go flying too. Or is it okay if we go together with them?
Dora Greymon picks his head up and looks at all of her friends who, again, are still busy running around, working on chores. You can see some of them are literally beginning to perspire.
Artie is looking at your youngest sibling. And what's going to happen if you don't microwave your own food? Yeah, that's right. War Greymon comes back. So if Kian says they don't have time, what do they not have? Yeah, you got it. Go.
Dora Greymon looks at all of them and looks back at you and just says, Kian, I don't think we'll go anywhere where our friends won't be right behind us.
Okay. And I'm going to call out to my friends. I'm going to go. I think this little neighborhood can take care of themselves for a little bit. We should go.
Well, first I have to return with the dogs. Hold on.
People are walking up to you and unclipping leashes from like your belt and pants and being like, "That's fine. I'll take this one. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay."
That's right.
Is
Lord
Terriamon
Greymon could be back at any time.
relinquishing the power of the leash?
It takes him a minute, but yes.
Okay.
I'm imagining Terriermon having this like very like serious send off with the dog.
Like salute, like
You're gonna be good.
Now, what have we learned, soldiers?
dogs stand up on two legs and just go.
The walking form has like improved like 1,000%. Like.
Mhm. So, friends, as you are all taking a second step away from your chores, all of you, Isabella, the grandmother, stops, kind of takes the broom away from you, gives you a very grandmotherly peck on the forehead, and just thank you for your help, little one. And as you all, separate and go step back outside, you see where once was the imposing figure of War Greymon, there is now this, gorgeous-looking, bright red, blade-winged dragon cradling Kian.
That's more like it.
Yeah. I guess War Greymon just needed to know that I'm okay. And I am. Thanks for helping out, by the way.
Literally, I remember one time when I was having a bad day after school, and you were already up late to play games with us, and you just stayed on the line with me after we were done. This is easy.
I mean, 30 dogs is a little difficult, but yes, it's easy to do it at any time.
When
Everyone
hasn't
had,
he
like,
been
20
the
of those
first person to
dogs.
help you out, though?
It's true. Without Kian, I don't. Without Kian, I would never have learned how to play some video games that I'm still really bad at. But I'm still learning. And also, Kian has helped me set up profiles for games because
Yes,
a lot.
that is something I have
Profiles?
absolutely done.
don't worry about it, Artemis. Don't worry about it. Kian knows. Kian
Oh,
gets it.
Kian knows? Oh.
It's Kian knows now. Thanks, y'all. Really. What are we gonna do now?
Well, we have a trip back to New York, and depending on where my boyfriend is, this could be really interesting.
Or, since he needs time to take that laptop, Ian, is there anywhere good to eat around here?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm gonna take you guys to my favorite Filipino fast food place. It is wonderful. It is great. It's Jollibee. I don't know if any of you have eaten it, but it's my favorite Filipino place. It's fast food. It's great.
Dora
Never met a
Greymon.
Jollibee I don't like.
Dora Greymon slides their long neck in and brings their head and just. Is there somewhere I could land discreetly nearby?
I don't think we have to worry about the sweetness here, to be honest.
They want to get smaller.
Can you get smaller? Only because the Philippines is this whole is really crowded and there's no big space.
Well, I could get smaller when we land.
That's true. We are flying.
Are we flying?
Dora Greymon steps back and again lets those wings flap once, and it almost is like they sing. They kind of hum, wiping a blade through the air.
All right, everyone on the door,
There is
Greymon.
no way we are not flying.
Yeah.
Come on, let's go.
I guess we can land on one of the biggest malls in the country.
Do they
There
have
should
a
be-
drive-through?
No, we don't. This weirdly enough, the country I think has very little drive-through.
Okay.
So no drive-through. Sorry, we're just gonna go have to eat there.
It's not like we have
Yeah.
a car.
Oh no! I mean, like
I've tried to walk through a drive-through before. I don't think they're gonna
Yo,
gonna
same
accept.
actually.
And
They won't. I've tried.
Dora Greymon, almost snapping back to their old self, just picks their head up and just... well, actually, before that happens, Lalamon does pipe up from Isabella's kind of like kangaroo pocket and just... We certainly should eat, but afterwards, we should definitely get back to New York. There's things we have to deal with, unless you all forget how bad things are in the digital world right now.
Well, that's the thing too. Like, even once we get back, we can't go guns blazing.
there's only one of us with guns. I think that'll be fine.
Terrier Mon starts doing fist guns
This
again.
goes, yeah.
No, because like, I know I said his office, but that really was just because it was a convenient spot where we could leave a laptop open for, until like we were ready. So like, we
Let's get some Jollibee.
Yeah.
Agreed.
It won't take long.
Shouldn't be long.
We'll get Jollibee real quick.
Almost snapping back to their old self, Dormon just pipes her head up and just, agreed, let's talking more flying. Come on. And I think our cutaway scene is the crew on the back of, oh, please, Glyza, take it away.
I wanted to end with us all like, you know, in the Avengers at the end where everybody's eating shawarma, but it's just us all at Jollibee and, you know, with our little Digimons hanging out, and everybody is staring, but it's whatever.
And we're all ignoring them entirely.
Indeed.
We're ignoring them, and they're like taking videos, but we're just like, you know what?
Doesn't
We'll
matter.
deal with the fallout later.
No
You're
one will
all
ever
sitting
believe
there
them, even though they
enjoying
have
your-
video.
Enjoying your Jollibee, having a good time. People are looking around and staring and taking pictures and photos. You all feel a brief rustle as suddenly there are no more camera flashes or videos going off, and everyone seems to be looking around. As you all look in front of the table, on the table, and in front of Rendamon are just a bunch of phones.
Yeah.
And she'll just, I'll give them back when we're done. And you all go back to eating and enjoying your Jollibee, and we get a nice, lovely cut out of the window of the sun setting as the late afternoon creeps to an evening over the Filipino skyline, as our party gets a bit of rest before heading back to New York to deal with the calamity.
they get as much food as they want because Scarlett's footing the bill.
So as you all stuff your face to Jollibee,
Yeah.
We bring-
Now the
tonight's
question
session.
is, do you have cash, or is your dad gonna have questions?
There's gonna be maybe a few questions where the automatic converter goes off, but yeah.
we'll deal with that next session as we bring tonight's With the Will to a close. I want to thank you all for coming out to one more episode. I love this fucking campaign. Sometimes I just don't even want to advance the plot. I just want to let you all live in these fun characters for 3
Filler
hours.
episodes, let's go.
They're just, y'all are so great, and I love this game. I won't babble too much longer so we can get ourselves the fuck out of here. Friends, we've been with the Will, and so before we get out of here, please tell us one last time, friends, who you are, who you played tonight, and where you can be found on the internet. We're gonna go the opposite order, starting on the far right with an incredible creative mind. You know, of course, I'm talking about the most legendary of Vermin.
Hey everybody, my name's Legendary Vermin, and you can find me as Legendary Vermin on all the places on the internet that matter, which is of course the ones that I mention all the time. Itch, Twitch, Twitter, kind of, YouTube, kind of, and of course, Tumblr. Tonight I played a menace, also known as Artemis, and if you want to see more of my beautiful visage and all the wild hijinks I get up to, this is the best place to find me for such things. My next thing on the calendar, I believe, is it's gonna be Frozen Rain. Right?
Frozen rain.
Frozen Rain.
Frozen rain. Cold ass
where-
crown.
where-
Cold ass crown.
Some shit, yeah.
Yeah, it's our game of gigantic mecha and feelings and post-humanism and transhumanism. It's super good stuff.
Yep,
You can also
next
find me
Thursday.
among the other shows that I'm on, running the absolutely wonderful and delightful The World Within You, which is our spray paint splattered, bass boosted take on Void Heart Symphony. The cast for that show is such a delight to work with, and they're in the middle of a circus right now, and it's creepy and ghoulish and fun. Really, really excited to kind of push the envelope with that and see where that goes. And of course, I also make games. You should check out specifically No Amount of Armor, because one of the wonderful shows on this channel is about to move their mecha game into the game that I wrote. And that thing is getting updates all the time because of it. So,
Yeah,
see
it's
you
awesome.
in that chat.
Vermin is incredible, and I'm so glad to have her among so many things on this wonderful channel of ours. Swinging clockwise this time, over to the star of tonight's episode, who brought so much humanity, reality, and so much of themselves to this character, and I thank them for that. I am so glad to have them back at this table, and so glad to create with them. I am, of course, talking about the incomparable Classical Glyza.
Hello, I'm Liza. I go by they, them. I am a person of many hats, podcast host, writer, variety streamer, a talk show host. I am the director of philanthropy over at TTRPG. That's TEA TRPG, as well as partner on the Gremlin Collective. Today, I was in front of you as a TTRPG personality where I play Kian, which is just a lot of who I am, honestly, growing up. So, it's great. See all the stuff I'm in, just go check out bio.link/classical Glyza, or look for @classical Glyza everywhere. That's Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, but mostly Twitter, because I do hang out there a lot. Let's see how long it lasts. I think we've mourned Twitter at least 5-6 times already, and it's still chugging along, but I don't know how long it's gonna be. But yeah, check me out over there. There's just one thing that I want to plug that I am doing for myself. I am doing a book club on days where I'm not on With the Will. I am on my own channel where I'm reading Animorphs from book 1 to book 54, plus the bonus books, 64 books. I am currently on book 2, so I did just start. Join me in re-traumatizing myself, because that is something I enjoy doing. So, yay, 64 books. Let's see how long this lasts. I said 3.
I have lurked a few of Glyza's reading streams. They are very nice background audio when hanging out and doing stuff. So definitely tune in when you can. They're wonderful and awesome. Swinging once more overclockwise to our lovely New York firecracker, our daughter of the military industrial complex, our lovely and incomparable Scarlet Goliath, played by the incredible J.N. Akers.
Hello everyone, I'm Jane Akers, and yes, today I did play Scarlet Goliath. That was a great character, intro though. Actually, I need to save that or something. No, but you can find me on I'm Jane Akers. I am a media and entertainment student at Kennesaw State University. I'm studying media and film. And I also lately I've been doing tabletop stuff. You can find me on Twitter at JN Akers, and I do have a thing coming up. I'm running a game. I had it all planned in my head this time, and then it just went poof. Yeah, I am running a game that I am calling Operation Rebirth. It is a remix of the plot point campaign, of the official plot point campaign for Pine Box Middle School, which is the newest setting that Pinnacle has released for Savage Worlds, and I am running that starting next week on the 10th, Monday, at 7:30, and we have some good players. Yeah. So you should come hang out. So the basic overview is a mad scientist is trying to mess with time and to like do something to help himself, and these kids are gonna end up like dealing with it as they handle middle school drama and life and the supernatural. So it should be fun, and that's all from me.
Well, looking forward to seeing that, seeing you stepping into stream GMing. It'll be wonderful. Excited for that. Moving on clockwise over to, again, one of my dearest and personal friends, who we don't see often on the screen here, but I think when we do, it's always a riotous, wonderful time. I'm, of course, speaking about the ever-incomparable Sprayuzaki.
Panic. Today, I have been foxfired. And if you want to find me on the internet, well, I mean, you can look at Twitter, but you'll only hear from me when I get hacked to advertise Ray-Bans again.
Love that. Well, we're always glad to have you here, and hopefully maybe in some other things in the future. We'll see about that.
Mm-hmm.
And one last cast member for us to mention. Over on the top left of your screen there, an ever-incomparable soul, an ever-incredible person, and one of the best human beings I've ever had the pleasure of sharing a table with. I'm, of course, speaking of Corndog McGraw.
It's me, Corndog McGraw. I am getting myself chicken nuggets after stream.
Hell yeah!
Yeah, and you can find me on the internet at Corndog McGraw. Yep. That's all, folks. Oh, you can catch me tomorrow over on Det Magic Juice's channel or Nat20. I don't know which one we're on right now. Where I will be playing a cleric. She's gonna try her best.
In the dragon one, right? I love the dragon one.
The dragon one, and I am the cleric.
Love the cleric one and the dragon one.
Want some more hijinks? I also have a sibling in that campaign.
I meant what I said in my intro, and that Corndog brings so much humanity to every character I have had the pleasure of playing alongside her or seeing her play, and I think it makes any game with her so much brighter and so much more wonderful. So if you haven't casted her in shows already, do that more, or watch the show she's already in, because she's super awesome. Promo for my great friends aside, yeah, all these people are fucking incredible. Cast them all and more things, by the way, if you haven't done that already. Speaking of people, hi friends, I'm Foxy, called Young Foxy, aka your favorite Fox Philly's finest. I'm on the internet at Young Foxy, it's YUNGFOXXII, and I ran this little internet game of ours playing all these 5 people's best friends. It was wonderful. I've said it before, I love this show so fucking much. The next place you'll see me is probably right back here on Neon Lights Roleplay in a few days, actually in about a week exactly, as we return to the wonderful world of Stardust Ghosts. They're going AWOL. Like, full-on AWOL. Not even gonna just sugarcoat that. They're breaking orders. It's nutty. Be around for that. After that, you'll see me right back the day after that for Frozen Rain, because it's Double Mecha Foxy Week next week. We love those.
Double Mecha Foxy Week.
We love a Double Mecha Foxy Week. It's my favorite kind of week. So listen, we could do more. So, you'll catch me in Frozen Rain, our story of robots and humanity, and it's going to be incredible. A lot of things are going to happen. I'm done keeping you guys up here. Our evening has been incredible. We're going to throw a raid, so please stick around for that. Thank y'all for bringing so much love and energy to this campaign, and for all of you people in chat for talking and making us have a great time tonight. Take care of yourselves, each other, and everyone else around you. And before we drop off the screen tonight, I have one last small thing to give us. As you're all hanging out and enjoying your Jollibee, you will all notice a figure appears to barge through the door. A small figure. Kian, you know that your brother, despite being younger, is old enough to make his way around town without too much trouble, so you're not too surprised to see him barge through the door of the Jollibee. You are wondering why he's panting so much. He does barge in very quickly and run up to you and just, Kian, I saw your cool dragon fly off this way, and I assumed you were gonna go get some food, so I figured you were gonna come here and
Yeah.
I saw this on the ground, and I thought maybe you should have it. And he drops something in your hand. It's a small white disc of hard light with the symbol of reliability carved on it. It's your tag, Kian. Or your crest, I should say.
I'm gonna wear it. Thanks. That was really cool of you. Thank you.
He points to your dragon friend and goes, "That's really cool of you."
No.
And he does it, just looks for a while and just wraps you in a big hug.
Oh.
And it's as that big hug happens that we draw our curtain for the evening.
Oh.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Good night.